Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Hello everybody, welcome to historic Savannah, Georgia. Now, most people know Savannah, Georgia as being one of the most notoriously haunted cities in America and one of the most historic. And it is very beautiful, but today we're going to talk about a little bit of Hollywood history here, because Savannah is a lot of movies are filmed here, but there's one particular one that I want to talk about, and that is the 1994 classic Forrest Gump. Now, we're going to check out one of the classic filming locations from Forrest Gump in just a second, but yeah, this is a really interesting place and a beautiful area, but I'll tell you just a little bit more. Get a look at this church. The architecture here is just beautiful. Walking in Savannah, Georgia is a lot like stepping back in time. A lot of these buildings really haven't changed. Now, mixed in with buildings that have been here hundreds of years, you wouldn't think that 31 years ago Forrest Gump came out, 1994. Tom Hanks won an Academy Award, and this is probably one of the most classic filming locations that I can remember. But if you remember Forrest Gump, it started off at the beginning of the movie. A feather was flying through the air, and you could see it in all these areas over here. But it ended up landing on Forrest Gump's shoe when he was sitting on a bus bench, and that bus bench was right here in Chippewa Square. Now, there was a foundation that was built for the movie that was placed right over here behind the Chippewa Square sign. But this is where Forrest Gump's bench was. Now let me walk out here, make sure that there's nobody here. It's nice and early, about 6:30 in the morning. But this is the shot. It would have been in this street that the cameras would have been shooting. And right here is the exact camera angle that they would have had. But right here where you see the Chippewa Square sign, right behind it, that was where the bench was. Here's a look at the screen grab from Forrest Gump. As you can see, the bench right there, and if you can see this this monument in the background, that's the Oglethorpe Monument right there. Lining up that shot. So basically, Forrest Gump starts telling his life story to anybody who sits down to wait for a bus, and he was here in Savannah to meet Jenny at the end of the movie. And he ended up running right when the lady told him, "You don't need to take a bus, it's just 5 or 6 blocks down that way." Forrest Gump started running down this street right here. But this is where the famous bench was, where he offered the woman a chocolate and said, "Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates." One of the classic lines in cinema. Happened right here. This is what it looks like today. But this is still a beautiful square. Very historic. But this is the monument that's behind them on the park bench every time they pan on them. This is the James Oglethorpe Memorial. And you couldn't really see in the film, but you're actually looking at the back side of this monument. You can see a lot of these trees are covered in Spanish moss. But this is a beautiful place to come and take a walk. Squirrels, wildlife, lots of benches. And Savannah is notoriously hot, so this is one of the nice places where you can come and sit and kind of take in the shade a little bit if you want to get out of the hot Georgia sun. Well, I hope you found that interesting. It is just one location, but I hope you can agree that it is probably the most classic Forrest Gump location. And yeah, this is going to be a really short video, so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.